Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. Joining us tonight is the Lord of Dick, Grayson, Weebo Jones.
Hello.
Coming soon will be Monkey, the Lord of Pain. He is away from the microphone at present. And also coming soon will be the Lord of Puppies, SDA. She dialed in to say she was going to be a little late. So, for the moment, it's me and Weebo.
Yeah.
How are you tonight, Weebo?
Tired.
Yep, I feel you. Well, I don't feel you. That would be sexual assault. I'm not Aziz Ansari, so.
Uh-huh.
And hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Glad to see you all here tonight. We already have a couple of super chats, so let me get those out of the way real quick. They're relatively brief. Point Curation, thank you, asked for an ad for my cat. He's a good guy. I will attempt to come up with an ad for your cat, Point. If you could give me the type of cat he is, like what kind of breed, I could work that into it. That'd be cool. And Monkey's here. Hi, Monkey.
Hi, it's me, Mario.
Wait,
Hi, Mario.
who are you? Monkey?
Okay, I'm just a fill-in monkey.
Oh, a fill-in monkey? I didn't know he swung that way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he dropped his winky, and so now Monkey's a girl.
Oh, my God. I didn't know it was that cold out. It froze off.
Well, it was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Also, thank you, New Fate 26. The ad request is just one word: fire. So, I have visions of cavemen dancing in my head, but I will see what I can do about it. So, Lady Monkey is now Ranting Monkey for the time being.
No, Ranting Monkey is now Lady Monkey.
Oh, okay. So between you and Weebo and SDA when she gets here, I'll just be surrounded by women. My favorite position. Well, that's not my favorite position, but you know what I mean.
Surrounded by bitches.
Fred.
Let's see. I also want to mention something real quick. Many months ago now, I don't even know how many months ago. It was a couple months ago. Snubber13 requested a super deluxe ad for a movie trailer of the Lords of the Night versus social justice. And ever since then, I've had all these ideas in my head. How would I do this? How would I make it special? How would I do it? And only in the last couple of days have I started taking all those ideas and trying to make some progress, physical as in making footage type progress with it. And I have one little sample scene that I cooked up that I have already sent him, which I hope he enjoys. But I just wanted to show it is a work in progress, and I'm starting to, the momentum's starting to pick up. So hopefully in the near future, I should have something to show everybody. Thank you, Inedible Trout. I went bobsleighing the other day, killed 250 bobs. Har. Har. All right. Thank you, thank you, Snubbirth. Bit research and difficult ad. An ad promoting a channel called ER. His picture is a black face with white eyes, and he goes there. You'll find out. E:*R. Is that so? I have to look up. Okay, I'll see what I can do. I don't know anything about that one. And thank you, ex Bubba Hotep. A couple minutes late. Did I miss Scribe work update? Oh yes, I didn't know that would become such a thing.
Work update. What happened? What did I miss?
Well, so last night during the stream, well, I guess I should back up a little bit. So yesterday I got home from work early because it was Martin Luther King Day and the day was kind of slow at work. I get a text shortly after I got home from one of our IT guys saying, hey, I need to do an update of some software to your computer. Is it okay if I log you off in the process of doing this at your workstation? And I was like, well, I'm not going to need it again today. So I said, sure. And then several hours go by, and in the middle of the stream, because apparently he was working on this between then until then, he texted me to tell me that in the process of just simply rebooting my computer, everything crashed and he had to reinstall major software, including Office and a whole bunch of other stuff. And in the process, I also lost the ability to do certain functions, maybe. And so my major concern was, wait a second, did did my work that I was working on today survive? And he's like, I don't know. I'm at home now. I spent all evening trying to fix it. We'll have to worry about it tomorrow. And I'm like, you'll have to worry about it tomorrow. I have to worry about it right now. So I went to work this morning, not knowing what I was going to find. And I did lose, at least hopefully cross fingers temporarily, the ability to do certain things in a utility sense, but I did not lose any data. So that is good. It wasn't catastrophic. It's just a temporary inconvenience. So there you go. That's the update from work. Thank you, Sanguine. Research ad. Either a movie, show, book, or cult based on Triglav.
What?
See, well, Sanguine just likes to give me the most obscure things to rack my brains with, and that's the latest. Thank you, Sanguine. Okay, well, all of that out of the way. Let me turn off the heater there. And so who is all here now? We got Weebo, we have Ranting Lady, and okay.
Lady Monkey might have her fill-in coming.
Lady Monkey's going to be filled in. That's good to know.
Amen.
Yeah, all right.
That's always a good thing.
Well,
Okay, well, I'm going to leave you guys, then Monkey will be here in a moment.
Okay, bye, Lady Monkey. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, loves.
Mwah.
It's always nice to have the family all here for this kind of stuff. Monkey Dick, which is here shortly. Jim Jones movies. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and share our stuff all over the place. Take Weebo's latest video with her rap and share that. Take my latest video with the purple hair girl and share that, etc.
Yeah.
Point curation, thank you. Words. Salubrious, pumpernickel, willow, ass, hoops. Something.
Guys.
Bread tree butt circle? I don't, was that a code for something? I don't understand. Also, Point, unless I must have missed it. If somebody saw what Point said about his cat, like what breed his cat is, please repeat it because I missed it in the process of things. Monkey, Lord of Pain, you're living up to your name today, it sounds like.
Very much so.
Well,
how are you guys?
Oh, I'm in relative terms, I'm doing fine. How are you, Weebo?
I'm tired still.
That's right. Oh yeah, you were tired. I forgot. Well, thank you for joining us, Monkey. I know you'd said earlier you might not be able to make it, but I'm glad you have. Hopefully we can make it entertaining, if nothing else. Let's see. So as we wait for SDA, because she said she'd be here a little late, I guess we will move into the news unless we've got anything else to mention ahead of time.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well then, per the title of the stream, throwing the Booker at them, there was a bit of a scene today in Congress where, do you know who Cory Booker is?
I do, unfortunately.
Okay. Cory Booker is a Democrat of New Jersey. He is a senator. Used to be mayor of Newark, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Terry Diamantis, thank you. Point said, Scribe, he's a big, beautiful cat with long hair and a lovely voice, and he's very special. Okay, well, I will attempt to make something out of that for Point's cat.
What happened to Point's cat?
Well, the Point requested an ad at the top of the show before the stream started, just saying an ad for my cat.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to get some more details about his cat that I could try to work in. So that was that. All right. So Cory Booker. Booker slams DHS Secretary's, quote, amnesia on Trump's reported shithole comment. There's a video of this, and he gets very, very passionate, let's say. Senator Cory Booker slammed the Homeland Security Secretary in a speech Tuesday morning for claiming ignorance to the president's slander of African countries. The impassioned remarks came toward the end of an often testy oversight hearing in which Department of Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen denied hearing Donald Trump say the words shithole or shithouse in a White House meeting on immigration last week. As apparently the different stories are altering now that he may have said shit house instead of shithole or not said it at all. It's depending on who you ask, it's a different thing. Evoking the words of Martin Luther King and the, quote, greatest heroes in this country who spoke out about people who have convenient amnesia or who are bystanders, unquote, Booker, a New Jersey Democrat, said Nielsen was complicit in the damage done by Trump's reported insult. Quote, the commander-in-chief in an Oval Office meeting referring to people from African countries and Haitians with the most vile and vulgar language, that language festers. When ignorance and bigotry is allied with power, it is a dangerous force in our country. Your silence and your amnesia is complicit in it, Booker said.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Haiti an African nation?
Where is Haiti located?
I suck at geography, so
yeah, I know,
I'm honestly asking.
In the club.
Haiti's like, isn't that Cuba territory? Am I?
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's right next to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and Port-au-Prince.
So it's a Caribbean country, not
Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
south of Florida.
Yeah, I know it was south of Cuba. Well, he didn't see. The way he phrased it was referring to people from African countries and Haitians.
Oh,
so
and Haitians.
He split it up, so he wasn't that far off. At times visibly upset, Booker said, this is the part that gets me, Booker said that he was, quote, seething with anger, unquote, and recalled the, quote, tears of rage, unquote, he shed when he first learned of the quote attributed to the president. Tears of rage.
That to me says unfit for office.
Sounds like a pussy bitch.
That is... Okay, either like Monkey said, either he has some mental fragility, or he is being melodramatic. I am opting for the latter because I've never seen Cory Booker as someone who's actually like a fragile person. So I think he's being melodramatic.
I could understand. I give more leeway for tears of sorrow, even tears of joy. Tears of rage sounds like somebody's going to shoot up a school.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Cory Booker, I think, overplayed his victim hand on that one. Quote, for you not to feel that hurt and that pain and to dismiss some of the questions of my colleagues saying, I've already answered that line of questions, when tens of millions of Americans are hurting right now because of what they're worried about happened in the White House, that's unacceptable to me, Booker said. Hurting? I was laughing my ass off because I saw CNN post the word shithole everywhere.
Uncensored, yeah.
Where has this culture of just pussy bitches come from? And I'm going to use that word again because it's accurate.
I still want to know when Haiti turned into this paradise. It has been a shithole for decades.
Yeah, the only thing that I did when I heard about the allegation or whatever, I mean, whether it's true or not, of Trump saying that, I mean, I suppose I shed tears of rolling my eyes because it's Trump and I wasn't surprised, nor did I give a shit because it means nothing.
Well, here's the thing. It's still just a reported quote.
Yes.
This was a private meeting that a few people decided to make public based on him supposedly saying this. Mm-hmm. Go fuck yourselves. One, if he did say it, it's not untrue. And two, there's no proof he actually said this shit. So if you're crying tears of rage over it, then yeah, you're a pussy bitch.
I think the title of this article should be Cory Booker begins his campaign for president.
Yeah.
Because crying tears of rage and all, it's just
tears of rage.
Tears of rage. let's see. Earlier in the hearing, Nielsen had said she wanted to move forward from discussion of the language in the meeting after being quizzed by multiple senators. Quote, I have been very patient with this line of questioning, she said. I have nothing further to say about a meeting that happened over a week ago. I'd like to move forward and discuss ways in which we can protect our country, unquote. So there you go. That was the big drama in the government today. Thank you, Sanguine. Add training camp for soy boys to learn to man the fuck up. Remind me what a soy boy. I've heard this a lot. I know somebody explained it at one point. I don't know much about it.
The idea that men are eating so much soy and there's so much estrogen in soy, it's basically making them women.
Oh, okay. All right.
Including giving them titties. So yeah, and not man titties. If you should watch Paul Joseph Watson's video on it, because they had like man titties. They're not man titties, right. Man titties.
Okay.
And there's a difference.
That's funny. That's why you got to eat meat like a manly man.
That's right. Get those testosterone injections.
Fuck yeah.
I have a question about that article.
Yes.
He was whining that whoever it was denied it.
Well, she
had a bad memory of it.
So he decried her amnesia on the subject because I believe she had said she did not. Let me go back here a little bit.
Because I didn't hear any direct quotes about that person saying they didn't remember it. The only direct quote I heard was there at the end where they said, I've answered these questions. We need to move on, basically.
Yeah, the impassioned remarks came towards the end of an often testy oversight hearing in which Department of Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen denied hearing President Donald Trump say the words shithole or shithouse in a White House meeting on immigration last week. So presumably at some point earlier in her questioning and everything else, she said it didn't happen to her recollection.
Why wouldn't they quote that part? Okay.
I don't know. I just, well, this is more about Booker than it is about whatever she said. So,
but don't those go hand in hand?
You would think, but this is CNN, so who knows?
And the quote at the end has nothing to do with the rest of the story.
No,
that's why I was waiting to hear exactly what was said. So I apologize. Yeah,
no,
okay.
That's fine. No, I'm more than happy to clarify because understanding is part of what I want to do with this stuff, even if I don't agree with it.
And overall, to be honest, this whole situation is honestly just the biggest non-issue of non-issues to ever have existed.
I mean, I guess in the absence of having something substantive to talk about with the Russia investigation, it's just what has Trump tweeted? What bad word did he say? I mean, seriously, a bad word said in a private meeting has now become like, and granted, again, I always feel weird like trying to defend Donald Trump, but you think about every president we've had and any private conversation they've had where they used quote unquote salty language. This is not a high crime and misdemeanor.
No.
This is not setting national policy necessarily, unless Trump comes out with a statement saying we're going to cut off funding to Haiti because it's a shithole. I don't care.
Because he said, African countries and Haiti. What would happen if, because of, everybody, it's not a shithole, we decided to cut off funding? Everybody would lose their goddamn minds because these places are fucking shitholes. Mm-hmm. If you want to say it was undiplomatic, fine. But to sit there and argue, he called them shitholes, that's racist. And it's not racist. It's not racist. Just noticing things.
Yeah, it's a description of the condition of a place.
Yeah, unless you would yourself like to go live there for at least a year.
Yeah. Well, what's really... Oh, sorry, 1 second. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Add a Caligula-esque historical drama about the rise and fall of King Zhao of Shang and the dissolution of the Shang dynasty. Holy cats, man. All right. Well, Caligula-esque? So you want, like, what? Horse fisting?
Yes.
All right.
That's the most important part, Scribe.
I mean, I'm assuming you mean the Malcolm McDowell Caligula-esque and not the historical Caligula, because otherwise, what's the fun in that, right?
else know what he's talking about because I don't.
Have him fist a cat instead.
So Caligula was this grand epic film made back in the early 80s, financed primarily by Bob Guccione, who was the owner of Penthouse magazine. And it's this ridiculously lavish sort of opera, almost like soap opera Roman thing, and it was rated X at the time because there's like actual sex and there's a lot of violence, and at the time it was just this grandiose mess, and it's like a cult classic now because it's got like these really top tier actors like Peter O'Toole and Malcolm McDowell and I think John Gielgud was in there.
Look at your latest.
Oh, thank you, Terry Diamantis. Just in case he didn't mean that, ad for horse fisting. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, I think he did mean it. Yeah, thank you, guys. This just, oh, man.
Wait, so if it's so epic, why haven't I heard of it before now?
Oh, well, I mean, heard of Caligula?
Yeah, it's a niche kind of thing. It's not talked about much lately, but if you go look it up, you can find it.
Yo, horse fisting, that's right up my alley. Get it?
Are you saying you're a horse?
Oh, Spencer says, didn't Caligula have a scene where a dude gets fisted? Yeah, that's true. Yep. A dude does get fisted. It's just that there's so many sort of urban legends about what went on in that movie, either off scene or what wasn't shown in the film, that I remember somebody told me one time, they fist a horse. And I'm like, they did? I don't know if that's true or not, but I always thought that was funny. Anyway, that aside, something else happened today that almost seems like a repeat of recent events, because remember how Hawaii had a false alarm of a missile incoming?
Yeah, oh my God, I saw
like
this.
It happened yesterday.
I know. Yeah, well, apparently that same app had the problem that Hawaii did in Japan.
Dun, dun, dun.
Japanese broadcaster apologizes after false North Korea missile alert. And I'm sure this is, and I put into Twitter when this came out, I said, oh, this must be Trump's fault too. Japanese national broadcaster NHK issued an on-air apology Tuesday after issuing an alert incorrectly claiming that North Korea had launched a ballistic missile. The message received by phone users with the NHK app installed on their devices read, NHK News Alert, North Korea likely to have launched missile, the government J alert, evacuate inside the building or underground, unquote. The broadcaster apologized for the error, adding, quote, the news alert sent earlier about North Korea missile was a mistake. No government J alert was issued. I don't even know what government J is. The mistake was corrected within minutes. How many minutes?
5, I think.
Yeah, probably. The false alert came on the same day as the U.S. and Canada planned to host talks in Vancouver over the crisis on the Korean Peninsula after a year of missile tests and threats from the North. And then they go into the Hawaii thing. So, yeah, it's just, false alarms are just the flavor of the week, I guess.
Who do you think is going to accidentally hit the button now?
South Korea.
Oh, boy.
There's only so many countries that it makes sense to have a alarm or alert system for this kind of stuff that could go haywire. Although I think of all the countries, probably South Korea has had the most time and most reason to test and have an effective alert system. So because, prior to this, North Korea really didn't have the capability to shoot a missile far enough to hit Japan and or the United States. So, yeah, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be South Korea, but I would be surprised if it happens. It'd be awesome if it was Australia.
Yeah.
Let's see. Was there anything else? Well, I pulled this one out because, specifically because Monkey's a Navy brat, and it was news to me. Ex-command, and I think this is a rare thing. Ex-commanders face negligent homicide charges over deadly Navy collisions.
Oh, wow.
The U.S. Navy announced Tuesday that the former commanding officers of the USS Fitzgerald and USS John S. McCain, the ships involved in 2 deadly 2017 collisions that killed 17 sailors, will face criminal charges including dereliction of duty, hazarding a vessel, and negligent homicide. Quote, after careful deliberation, today Admiral Frank Caldwell announced that Uniform Code of Military Justice charges are being preferred against individual service members in relation to the collisions. Sorry, this is all a bunch of...
Wait, this is a thing that happened last year? How come I didn't hear about this?
Oh, it was all over the news for quite a while. It came and went relatively quickly in relation to everything else.
Damn.
Because it wasn't a terrorist attack, it was more like, human error type stuff. But people did die in the process, unfortunately.
I had no idea. This actually pisses me off.
Court-martial proceedings will now be convened to review evidence supporting possible criminal charges against several members of the USS Fitzgerald, according to the service. Quote, the members' rank include 1 commander, 2 lieutenants, and 1 lieutenant junior grade. The charges include dereliction of duty, hazarding a vessel, and negligent homicide. The collision between the Fitzgerald, a guided missile destroyer, and the ACX Crystal on June 17, 2017, claimed the lives of 7 U.S. sailors. It took place 56 nautical miles off the coast of Honshu, Japan, in an area heavily traveled by commercial shipping. For the USS John S. McCain, 1 court-martial proceeding, or Article 32 hearing, will be convened to review evidence supporting possible criminal charges against 1 commander, the commanding officer. Let's see. 10 sailors were killed when the USS John S. McCain, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer with the Liberian flag merchant vessel Alnick MC, on August 21st, 2017. And then they go over the details of the collisions and such. So
you got a super chat.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Ad for the novel The Tomb of Hercules by Andy McDermott. I have a feeling that Mr. Baker's a fan of Andy McDermott novels.
Sure.
Because this is the second one. The Tomb of Hercules. So yeah, it's rare, I think. I could be wrong. It's rare to have like actual homicide charges brought up in a human error thing in the military, I think.
I would think so, right?
As far as I know, yeah, there has to be something that they saw that would, just like criminal court. I mean, the court-martial system's a little different than a criminal case in civilian court. But yeah, they saw something that they think warrants it, at least looking into.
Was it like blatant negligence?
Well, that's the thing.
That's the implication.
Yeah, they have to prove there was some, like the guy was sleeping at the wheel or he was jerking off while he should have been captaining his ship or something. I don't know what that's going to be.
Well, you also have to. It follows the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so there's differences to you're in charge. And guys, this is just being very general, but you're in charge of this multi-billion-dollar warship, and you're not paying attention to what you're doing with it. Is different than you shot somebody in your house. So without going and it's been a while since I looked at the Uniform Code. I'm sure we have vets in chat who would answer this much better than me, but just remember, this is not the same as a civilian court. Yeah.
So wait, who's the at-fault driver then?
Probably what it'll do, at least in the first one. The second one, it seems like they were only going after the commander. In the first one, it sounds like everybody on the bridge crew was fucking off instead of paying attention, and they're all being looked at. The second one, that one sounds so much more direct. Because it's only the commander. So that would be a complete breakdown of the entire system. So this, just remember, if you guys do if you do pay attention to this one, it's not going to be like the OJ trial. This is court martials are a bit different.
Yeah, it'll be behind closed doors, and we'll only hear about it after it's over with, pretty much. Let's see. All right, so I've got. Sorry.
Do you have the story about Jim Acosta?
No, but I can. If you already have it, you can go ahead, or I can just.
Yeah, I have it here. This comes from Hot Air, and Jim Acosta is a CNN reporter, and he tweeted out the other day. Where is it? What occurred reminded me, and he's talking about a situation at the White House. What occurred to me reminded me of something I would see in a different country. Certainly not at the White House. Certainly not in the U.S. Now, what do you think happened to Jim Acosta? Do you want to take a guess?
Real quick. Thank you, James Colley. What's better than roses on a piano? Tulips on your organ. Har, har, har. What happened to Jim Acosta? He was passed over for being able to ask a question of the press secretary.
As I attempted to ask questions in the Roosevelt room of Trump, White House press aides shouted in my face to drown out my question. I have never encountered that before. No, okay. For the record, what he's talking about is when Donald Trump was leaving after a ceremony. I forget who he was with. But as they're leaving, Jim Acosta starts screaming questions. You can actually hear him in the background on a video. And Trump just leaves.
Oh, darn.
He wasn't taking questions. But yeah, he makes it sound like this is some third world country shithole thing that happened.
Yeah, that's never happened before. That's never happened in every presidential press conference where the president was leaving at all. That give me a fucking break.
In a third world country.
Well,
by the dictatorship that's in power because you're speaking out when you're not supposed to be.
Well, there's another part where they were sitting taking questions, but the question time was over, and the press secretary is going, "All right, we're done here." And Jim Acosta is trying to yell then too. So yeah, in both instances, it wasn't question time, but he's never encountered anything. I wonder if he had tears of rage.
Oh God, tears of rage!
Tears of rage!
Tears of rage! Delicious.
Isn't there a Kid Rock song called "Fist of Rage"?
I don't know.
I think, or at least that's a lyric or something to it. I remember a long time ago. I think it's on "Devil Without a Cause." But anyway, that's just what I think of when it like tears of rage. I think of like a rock lyric.
Thank you, Faith. A dictator would take him out back and shoot him. Exactly.
Well, yeah. Yeah, reporters yelling questions at the dear leader. Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, I guess reading that just made me laugh so hard because as you read his tweets, it's like, oh my God, what happened? And then you see the video and like, you're just a bitch. You're a bitch.
Let's see. The last article I have is about Aziz Ansari. This is one that Monkey recommended. It's an opinion piece from the New York Times. Aziz Ansari is guilty of not being a mind reader.
Before we get started, I have read this one, and I do have to say I am impressed the New York Times published this.
Okay.
You'll see parts of why they still let this be published, but for them to publish something like this, I think really speaks to the charges against Aziz. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is by Barry Weiss. Never heard of him. And this is the writer talking. I'm apparently the victim of sexual assault. And if you're a sexually active woman in the 21st century, chances are that you are too. That is what I learned from the expose, unquote, of Aziz Ansari published last weekend by the feminist website Babe, arguably the worst thing that has happened to the Me Too movement since it began in October. It transforms what ought to be a movement for women's empowerment into an emblem of female helplessness. That's always been an emblem for female helplessness. Sorry.
If you get a movement to tell you how to live your life, then...
Yeah. The headline primes the reader to gird for the very worst. Quote, I went on a date with Aziz Ansari. It turned into the worst night of my life. Like everyone else, I clicked. The victim in this 3,000-word article is called Grace, not her real name, and her experience with Mr. Ansari began at a 2017 Emmys after party. As recounted by the woman to the reporter Katie Way, does she know DeWay? She approached him and they bonded over their admiration of the same vintage camera. Okay. The woman was at the party with someone else, but she and Mr. Ansari exchanged numbers and soon arranged a date in Manhattan. After arriving at his Tribeca apartment on the appointed evening, she was, quote, excited, having carefully chosen her outfit after consulting with friends. They exchanged small talk and drank wine.
Now, real quick, she's about to bring up something I wish I would have brought up in my video. Guys, pay attention to this part.
Okay.
Pay attention.
It was white, she said. I'm assuming the wine. I didn't get to choose, and I prefer red, but it was white wine. Yes, we are apparently meant to read the non-consensual wine choice as foreboding.
Yeah, that was actually a part of this story. It was white wine. I like red.
I didn't get to choose red.
I didn't get to choose.
Hmm.
She was Ryan. Wait. Wine raped, y'all.
They went out to dinner nearby and then returned to Mr. Ansari's apartment. As she tells it, Mr. Ansari was far too eager to get back to his place after he paid for dinner. Quote, like he got the check and then it was bada boom, bada bing, we're out of there, unquote. Another sign of his apparent boorishness. She complimented Mr. Ansari's kitchen countertops. He then made a move, asking her to sit on top of them. They started kissing.
Which she did.
Yeah.
Sorry. She did do that.
Which he did. They started kissing. He undressed her and then himself. In the 30 or so minutes that followed, recounted beat by cringe-inducing beat, they hooked up. Mr. Ansari persistently tried to have penetrative sex with her, and the woman says she was deeply uncomfortable throughout. At various points, she told the reporter she attempted to voice her hesitation, but Mr. Ansari ignored her signals. At last, she uttered the word no for the first time during their encounter to Mr. Ansari's suggestion that they have sex in front of a mirror. He responded, quote, how about we just chill, but this time with our clothes on? They dressed, sat on the couch, and watched Seinfeld. She told him, quote, you guys are all the same, unquote. He called her an Uber. Oh, sorry. I thought that was meant to be like an insult. He called her an Uber.
You're
like,
an Uber, bitch.
You're an Uber. You're a car. You're a car for hire. What? No. She cried on the way home, thin, as in finished.
So, wait, I want to make a small comment. She said she attempted to say no several times. Bitch, there is no attempt, only do.
Well, if you read the exact word, can you find that sentence and read it again, Scribe?
Yeah. Well, everything stopped as soon as she said no. But
yeah,
at last
she uttered saying no. But like,
wait.
At last, she uttered the word no for the first time.
Before that, the sentence right before that.
Okay. At various points, she told the reporter she attempted to voice her hesitation, but Mr. Ansari ignored her signals.
See right there. She attempted to voice her hesitation. Not she tried to say no. Because at the very beginning of this encounter, and I know this because I've gone over it so many times because there's some jackass who keeps arguing with me on my video about it. This is what happened. They get in. She compliments the countertop. He puts her up on the countertop and starts kissing her. Now, this is all before they get undressed. He goes, I'm going to go get a condom. And she says, let's chill. Let's relax a little bit. That's when he undresses her, undresses himself, and goes down on her and then asks her to do it to him. This is all after she said, let's slow down. Let's slow down is, okay, you can get me naked and lick my pussy. That is not a good signal for hesitation. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, slowing down is honestly...
well,
what she... Like, if she didn't want to do it, she should have said, you know what, I don't want to have sex. And from everything in the article, the original article, Aziz would have been like, cool, all right. At worst, he would have done, I'm like, all right, bitch, get out. Yeah, literally, that's the worst that would have happened to her. Anyway, sorry.
Okay. The thing that now I haven't read the beat for beat description of everything beyond what we've read on the show. But the part that gets me the most is here. As soon as she said no, everything stopped.
Yep.
I mean, if you needed a safe word around Aziz Ansari, apparently the simple one of no is enough for him to say, okay, let's just hang out, which is what they did. So this, I don't agree with Aziz Ansari and a whole bunch of his politics, and I've never really found his comedy that compelling myself. But in this instance, he's being railroaded. Because this is her testimony. It's not like he's saying this is what happened. This is her recounting the events. Anyway, so she got an Uber, went on the way home. Okay. If you are wondering what about this evening constituted the worst night of this woman's life, or why it is being framed as a Me Too story by a feminist website, you probably feel as confused as Mr. Ansari did the next day. It was fun meeting you last night, he texted. Quote, last night might have been fun for you, but it wasn't for me, she responded. You ignored clear non-verbal cues. You kept going with advances. You had to have noticed I was uncomfortable. He replied with an apology. Read her text message again. This is the author talking. Sorry, read her text message again. Put in other words, I am angry that you weren't able to read my mind. Exactly.
Here's the thing that sets me off, right? And it's coming from the perspective of someone who knows social psych, who's literally just finished that course last semester. the different verbal cues or nonverbal cues, like gestures and facial expressions and what have you, there are 6 universal facial expressions across cultures. The rest are completely different across cultures. And not to mention hand gestures as well, and just in general tones, completely different across the cultures. No, it would not be a stretch to say that they're different across people and across maybe different demographics of people within the same maybe nation as well.
Yeah, and the other thing is that at no point was she incapable or somehow being prevented of saying no, because she did. And when he's going down on her, it's not like she was incapable of using her mouth and saying things. This is all nonsense.
There's a great part at the beginning of the article, and you really should read the whole thing of the original because it is such a hit piece.
Mm-hmm.
As she's describing what happened when they first got there, she says, he went down on me quickly, and then he asked me to do the same, which I did. Or the author recounts it that way. I can't remember exactly if it's in quotes. But she goes on to say it all happened very fast, just within 10 minutes, as though a quick blowjob is a sign of distress. Man, she must have hated it. That bitch sucked my dick quick. That's not how it works either. If you read this thing, it is hit piece after hit piece after hit piece about the way things happen. At the very worst, Aziz acted like a horny high school kid.
Honestly, yeah, that's what I got the impression from reading.
Yeah, no, he didn't even do that. I mean, he responded to her when she verbalized something. He responded in a respectful and acknowledging manner. She said, "Let's slow down." So, in general terms of the encounter, he did. She says no. He stops. Yeah. At no point was he demonstrating anything other than being responsive to her voiced condition in regards to the situation. If she had said, "I don't want to have sex," I will bet you dollars to donuts, Aziz Ansari would be saying, "Okay, well, let's just hang out," and that would have been it.
It's exactly what he did.
Yeah, and it's exactly right. If she had started out the night saying, "Let's just hang out tonight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow," he would have been cool with that. I bet you.
Even with the no that she gave, her exact no, according to her, was no. I don't think I want to do this. I don't think I'm going to do this. It wasn't a heavy no. I'm not having sex with you. Right. It was still, I really don't want to do this. And even at that, he's like, "Cool, let's get dressed." So, I mean, the idea that he's some sexual assaulter and that he's perpetuating rape culture. I saw one text from some feminist twat who, it wasn't sexual assault, but the fact that he kept asking when she clearly didn't want it is just rape culture. Like, no, when you suck his dick twice, it's not that clear. I don't know what it is for women, but for guys, if a chick blows you twice, that's not a sign she doesn't want to have sex. I'm trying to help women out here.
All right. Well, there's a lot more to this opinion piece, but we're already a little late.
Well, yeah, sure. And I just want to hit on one more part of this piece. She does go in to say that basically what he did was really horrible behavior, and it's basically rape culture, but it's still not sexual assault. And that's the reason I think the Times was still okay publishing this, even though it goes against the narrative of the radicals. And so I just thought it was. Hey, Sta, how you doing?
Hi. Sorry about that. Something came up, and then all of a sudden the Wi-Fi decided it didn't want to cooperate. But I'm here now.
Huh.
Hello, how are you?
Hi guys. How is everybody?
Okay. You got a super chat.
Okay. Thank you, Grisella. As a man, I'm going to start carrying around documents saying what I can do, where I can touch, etc. Sign here, initial here, date there. Hey, I could make those and sell them to actors.
Hey, do we have a thing for you?
Yeah. What?
There's an app.
I'm getting
There's
an
an app for that.
There is an app.
I'm getting an echo from somebody. It's probably SDA.
Sta, are you echoing us?
Hello.
Think so.
Hello. Okay.
I think he's just making it up.
So, well, I mean, just not to joking aside for a second, if you want relationship contracts, this is not an alien concept. And unfortunately, it's a concept that is more common in other countries and shouldn't be as common here because we're supposed to be more civilized. But there you go. Thank you, New Fate 26. Add to contain the phrase cunt-faced faggots lost in a forest of forgetfulness.
It's beautiful.
That's a lot.
I decline. I just don't want to. New Fate, you can pick something else. I don't feel like doing that. Sorry. I'll be a jerk this one time. Yeah, that's a bit much for me to try to wrap an ad around. So you can pick something else. And then Grizilla, did you want me to make an ad for that, or is that just a comment? I'm good either way. You let me know.
Yeah, but there is an app for that. We covered it
yes.
a couple days ago. I forget the name of it. It's coming soon. They're working on it, and you'll be able to specifically click what perversions you're into, and just swipe to find your mate.
Yeah, I mean, when we went over like all the legal problems with it, you know, if you select butt stuff, does that mean that your butt gets to be butt stuff too? All that kind of all the fun things that we said.
Yeah, you can set little way markers in the course of negotiating your relationship, or negotiating your date night or whatever. So
yeah,
it does exist, and it's and I'm sure like a dozen of those things are already on the way if one's on the way.
Instructions unclear. Got dick caught in ceiling fan.
What? Well, anyway, I'll hold that one for later if we want to talk about it some more. But we're already a little running over time. So, Grisella says yes. Scribe Light, make an ad for that. All right, so I'll make an ad for a consent app. And I will avoid doing an ad for the actual app they're making because I don't want to give some free advertising. But if I end up making up something that ends up matching that, that'd be just their hackery, I suppose. Let's see. Thank you, ex Bubba Hotep, for the Aziz Ansari thing. I can't help but think of Clerks quote. Oh my God, 37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
Oh yeah.
Oh geez, yeah.
What?
The movie Clerks.
Oh.
He freaks out because he finds out his girlfriend's a hoe.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, and
it all starts over the word snowball. Keep going. I'm sorry.
People. So just so you guys know, yeah, I do reserve the right to not do an ad on something if I don't want to. That's not I won't do an ad at all for somebody who does it. But if somebody brings up some really ridiculous or something that I don't want to try to, advertise or celebrate or something, I reserve the right to decline. But New Fate is completely welcome to request anything else. Anyway, let's do a couple of MSS news things real quick before we get into YouTube time, because I know Weebo has stuff to talk about. So, guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but we'll definitely look at as many as we can. And I will go. What?
I went back through my history to find it. For those of you who are interested, the app is called Legal Fling.
That's right.
There we go.
Legal Fling, as in like it's illegal to whatever. Anyway,
is that like done by LegalZoom? I wonder.
No, it's
not. Okay. A new Fate. In case I miss it, you can tweet me your another idea if you'd like, just so I don't miss it in the chat. Okay, scrolling down. Oh yeah. So did you guys hear about this reporter that was killed on a submarine?
I did not.
I just saw the headline.
Yeah, so
I saw your tweet about it. Yeah.
Yeah, this story's been actually going on for some time now, but they've just started releasing more information. So I'll go over this relatively quickly. This particular link, and several people sent this, comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Real quick, thank you, Cryptic. My girlfriend just recently got a tattoo of a dolphin on her inner thigh. When you put your face near it, you can actually smell the ocean.
Nice.
Okay.
I don't get it.
What does that say about you, Cryptic? That you're dating a girlfriend with that kind of a smell?
Yeah. Speak.
Wait.
You don't get it? Seriously?
I really don't get it.
Okay, so that lovely fish smell that you smell when you get to the ocean.
But like, is that what dolphins smell like too?
No, but that's what that crotch smells like.
That's why I'm confused.
This is almost a Meatloaf moment.
It is. It's just a joke that pussy smells like fish. That's all it is.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to like figure out if it's because like they get wet. I don't know. Like,
you were putting way too much thought into it.
Wow.
I just don't know which direction to go in.
Anyway, speaking of women at sea, Kim Wall murder. Danish inventor formally charged in, quote, unusual and extremely gross case. This is a really weird one. Inventor Peter Madsen was formally charged with murdering Swedish journalist Kim Wall during a trip on his private submarine, a Danish prosecutor announced Tuesday, saying Madsen either cut Wall's throat or strangled her. Prosecutor Jakob Buch Jepsen said Tuesday the case is very unusual and extremely gross. Madsen, 47, is charged with murder, dismemberment, and indecent handling of a corpse for the way he disposed of Wall's body. He is also charged, this is the weird one, with having sexual relations with Wall of a particularly dangerous nature, whatever that means. Let's see. The prosecutor said the killing was premeditated, and prosecutors will urge that Madsen be sentenced to life in prison. So rather than read this, it takes a while, but so this guy had crowdfunded making his own like homemade submarine. This reporter came to interview him about it, and he took her out riding around in the submarine, and somewhere between the time he left and when they finally found him again, like a day later or whatever, he had killed this woman, chopped up her body, and thrown the different parts out into the water. It's crazy. The guy sounds like a Bond villain. Like he's got his own private submarine. He's an inventor and all this other stuff. And I'm baffled because I'm just wondering what was the motive? What possible did he? I don't know. They don't. And the stories he's given is that she either died of it was an accident. She hit her head and then he dropped her. The first story was she hit her head and he dropped her off on the island somewhere. And then she disappeared and then was killed. That's his story. And then it was she died of carbon monoxide poisoning on the submarine, and then he chopped her up. So I don't know which. Thank you, Chaos Eve. I love how they're charging him more for mishandling the body of the woman he murdered. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it might be that that's the easiest charge to get him on.
Could be.
Yeah.
My question is, do you think he had this in mind when he crowdfunded it?
Well, I'm going to build a submarine to take a woman out to kill her.
It's a fucking convoluted plot if I ever heard one.
Well, it is a James Bond villain kind of thing to do. That part is absolutely true.
Well, I mean, what else are you going to do with a submarine?
I don't know, but this is just strange. I mean, yeah, I'm really curious if he'll ever give up the true motive as to the why and the wherefore. That's just so weird.
I need $100,000 to kill bitches. I feel like there's guys who would donate.
Let's see.
Probably.
How many of you have? I know Weebo does, but do any of us, the rest of us, have any YouTube stuff to talk about?
No, I didn't.
No, I was college-ing all day today.
All right, I have a little bit. Well, actually, I mentioned at the top of the show, but I'll mention it again. So I'll do a couple more MSS news to take up the time. What? Oh, okay. This one comes from Chaos Eve. Transgender sex robots are coming to a bedroom near you. They can't be trans. They can't be transgender because they're robots. But okay, they're just sex dolls with penises. Combination penis. Yeah. Transgender sex robots could be a new and exotic way to spice things up in your bed. No. I'm saying no.
You gonna have a three-way with a sex bot?
It's in itself, yeah. They got pictures.
Like how you went from trans to three-way.
Well, I mean, because spice things up in your bedroom. I'm assuming that there's someone already there. Actually, no, never mind. Anyone who buys a sex bot is probably lonely.
Yeah. Thank you, Gregory Hurst. Any story that ends with "and then I chopped her up" doesn't reflect well on you. Yeah, it's true.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
I think Aziz is going to get a sex robot.
he might think it's a safer option.
I would.
Powered by artificial intelligence software, the lifelike bots have their own personalities and can even have a conversation with you. The female Harmony model was launched last year, and a male version was recently announced to be in development. But a senior Realbotics, that's the name of the company director, has told The Sun that a transgender model could be the company's next big project. Quote, "We do believe there is a market not only for transgender, but for any other sexual preferences or of gender." Okay, I'm waiting for the first, like, furry sex bot.
Any other... That last sentence didn't compute.
Yeah, any other gender.
There's only two.
Not if you put ears on the bitch.
Not if you decide to make, like, the fantasy anime custom model lizard girl or tigress or something, you know.
Yeah, attach some tentacles, get funky with it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the sex robot that uses real animal fur and is like a anthropomorphized fox or something that you can buy on the market. The day is coming soon. Trust me. If they're going this far, yeah,
those vegans are going to protest like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
if you put fur on that.
That's true.
Couldn't you just put long hair on a dude bot and call it good?
Inedible Trout asks, "Are trap bots gay?" No, they're inanimate objects.
How would you know? Do you know that trap bots lived experience?
Look, even if you fuck a plastic penis, that's still a little gay.
Oh, all right.
Like, isn't it though? I'm sorry, but like, come on.
Several people have sent us
something with a penis. And you're a guy. That's at least a little gay.
So several people have sent us this one. Lion Patriot and Chris Johnson are the two that are right here, but I think this is old news in the sense that it's not. They've been talking about this for years. New California declares independence from rest of state. With the reading of their own version of a Declaration of Independence, founders of the state of New California took the first steps to what they hope will eventually lead to statehood. To be clear, they don't want to leave the United States, just California. Quote, "Well, it's been ungovernable..." Sorry?
Said who can blame them?
Well, it's been ungovernable for a long time. High taxes, education, you name it, and we're rated around 48th or 50th from a business climate and standpoint in California, said founder Robert Paul Preston. The state of New California would incorporate most of the state's rural counties, leaving the urban coastal counties to the current state of California. Quote, "There is something wrong when you have a rural county such as this one, and you go down to Orange County, which is mostly urban, and it has the same set of problems, and it happens because of how the state is being governed and taxed," he said. But unlike other separation movements in the past, the state of New California wants to do things by the book, citing Article 4, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution, and working with the state legislature to get it done, similar to the way West Virginia was formed. Quote, "Yes, we have to demonstrate that we can govern ourselves before we're allowed to govern," he said. And despite obstacles, doubters, and obvious long odds, the group stands united in their statehood dream. The group is organized with committees and a council of county representatives, but say it will take 10 to 18 months before they are ready to fully engage with the state legislature. So why would they call it New California, though? I come up with something
because they're not very creative.
Yeah, I come up with something. Yeah, something else. Okay, scrolling up a bit.
Not just name it Better California.
Oh, here we go. This ought to be good. This comes from Raymond Lewis. Actor Matt McGorry challenges white people to investigate the depth of your privilege.
Wait. Matt McGorry?
Yes,
Isn't he feminist?
Yes, as in the feminist Matt McGorry of Orange is the New Black fame. Actor, sorry.
He's a delight in the most amusing sense.
Yeah, he's something else. Actor Matt McGorry took to Twitter to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day by challenging white people to root out, engage with, and end the white supremacy in their own lives. The former Orange is the New Black star recalled celebrating past MLK days by posting the civil rights leader's famous quotes to social media. McGorry recounted becoming, quote, defensive after a black woman asked him why white people tend to post King's more apolitical quotes. Quote, the thing I didn't realize was white people often only post quotes like this that are apolitical, and then we refuse to engage in a critical way with white supremacy, McGorry said. Breitbart, you really need to put an extra quotation mark there to close the quote because you didn't do that. Said in a video posted to Twitter on Monday, quote, because when I can post about love driving out the love, what? Because when I can post about love driving out the love and saying, oh, I do feel love, I have a lot of love, and I hate racism, I hate the Ku Klux Klan, then it actually lets me off the hook from thinking deeper and more critically about the ways that I can work to end white supremacy in my own life, in myself, between my... Okay, Matthew McGorry, you need to go back and learn the definition of the phrase run-on sentence. I realize you're not a journalist, you're an actor, you read other people's dialogue, but seriously. Okay, and you're making up bullshit. It's like...
How does one make a bullshit, Scribe? Because that's a very interesting way of phrasing it.
Make a bullshit? Did I say that? Oh.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Make up bullshit.
That's what I said. Yeah, I believe that's what I said. I was like, make a bullshit. I mean, you could make a bullshit if you want by like feeding a bull some X-Lax.
I didn't hear up.
Okay.
It's frosty.
Yeah, a little anal fisting there. You know, you move from horses onto bulls. You'd be fine.
Joy.
I'll just read the headline of this. Seal, if you know Seal the singer, Kiss from a Rose, he's apparently under investigation after a neighbor claimed he groped her.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, Raymond Lewis done to that one. Okay. I'll read this one and then we'll close out MSS News for tonight. This one also comes from Colleen Bernier. Got to end with a Florida man story. Florida man robbed at gunpoint in dating app setup. Panama City, Florida. Florida police say a man thought he was going on a date set through an app, but instead was attacked and robbed at gunpoint. Police say 21-year-old Tabarese Lee Foster lured his target using Grindr, a dating app for gay men. When the victim arrived to his home in Panama City, Foster and another man attacked him, pointing a gun from behind while searching the date's pockets and stealing his wallet. The Panama City News Herald reports Foster and the other man named Royquez Daryl DeLoach admitted to the robbery during an interview with the police. Authorities recovered the gun used in the crime, and they're facing robbery charges. So,
as well they should.
Yeah, I've heard like Craigslist ambushes like that before. So it's not new, I suppose. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for the ads. That too. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the stories. Sorry I didn't get to everything, but we have a format, and I'm a format Nazi.
You're a Nazi?
Well, I'm not literally Hitler like some Gutenbergs I might name.
Oh.
Let's see. So Monkey and SDA didn't have any YouTube stuff today. I mentioned this at the top of the show, but I've begun working on Snubberth's deluxe ad request from way back when. I sent a little sample out to a couple people today. Monkey's seen it. SDA's got it too. Weebo's seen it. And Tailed Feature has seen it because he was the main participant in that little clip. I've got other things I got to put together. It's basically a series of little vignettes using different people that I know in the Lords of the Night mythos, and then trying to find a way to string them all together into a trailer. So that's what I'm working on right now, to get the pieces made and then find a way to put them all together. Thank you, Cryptic. What was Adolf Hitler's favorite computer game? Minecraft. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha.
I see what you did there.
But that's all I did today. I know, Weebo, you had a stream today that sounded very interesting.
Yeah. So, y'all remember the whole Amos Yee shenanigans?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
I made a video about it, and then a few days later, I was approached by a girl who felt that she was, I guess, ready, but also willing to essentially share her side of her story with regards to her own experiences when she was younger, and she engaged in relationships with people of a, you know, sexually delinquent nature. And it kind of goes along with the whole Amos Yee stuff, because Amos Yee, a lot of what he argued, and from the positions from which he argued, were with regards to the people whose anecdotes that he used. He used a lot of people who said that they had done this before in the past when they were kids, and that they were totally fine with it later on in life, unaffected and completely unscathed, at least. From what I could tell, I didn't actually go into a lot of detail on the anecdotes that he presented, and I didn't get a chance to, because at one point the actual video got taken down by YouTube, so I couldn't exactly look at the screenshots. But I have interacted with enough pedophiles online and pedophile activists online to know that a lot of the stories and things that they say were probably a lot of what the accounts were that Amos Yee had used in his video. So I had a 1 hour long live stream with this girl who's going to remain anonymous, because for her own reasons, I'm not going to get into it right here. But we had a 1 hour live stream, and I basically interviewed her on her experiences as essentially someone who was a child who was put in that position as a child, and who's come out of it on the other side realizing it was wrong. So it's kind of a counter to that, in a sense. And it was very informative, and it was at times serious, but at times not so serious. But it was probably one of my better streams that I've done, I will say that. Yeah.
How did she come to you?
Yeah, she approached me on Twitter, actually. And we'd been discussing it ever since a few days after I released my video, because she had seen my video, and she's like, oh, I have this experience. It's not doing me any good, but it might, help other people understand in terms of this kind of argument and fight against the activism that would, allow people to engage in that behavior of pedophilia.
Thank you, Johnny Bravo. Any weebs in the crowd? Well, we're talking to one right now. So, yes, the answer is yes. Thank you, Johnny.
What up?
So, yeah, I listened to a little bit of it. I had to go do some other stuff. I got distracted. I wasn't quite sure where she was coming from at the beginning of it, because I wasn't sure if she was like in support of it or not so hurt by it or something, because it sounded... I mean, this happened to her multiple times over the course of her childhood, if I'm not mistaken. Like different people between like 9 years old to 14 or something.
So at the age of 12, she engaged in kind of an interaction with another male who was her age that she didn't exactly enjoy. So she kind of cut it off before it could get to, I guess, a certain point. And then at the age of 14, I guess she engaged in relations online with an older man that were deeply manipulative, grooming in a sense, to the point where I guess she sent him some sexually explicit photos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And it kind of messed her up. Both experiences, I suppose, have messed her up. And from what I understand, and I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say with regards to it, she is dealing with it.
Thank you, Point Curation. I originally saw a Weebo stream and wanted to say "ree," but then saw it was a serious talk and decided not to do that. Well, you have manners. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Point. Thank you, Cryptic. Seducing a fat woman is a piece of cake. Har, har, har. So, what do you? Did she say what caused her to decide that it was bad? I mean, what point sort of transition from this was just something I did to I'm. It
was a mistake.
It was a mistake. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it.
So, the initial interaction, she did end up kicking the guy in the nuts before it could go too far, because she just couldn't, I guess she wasn't mature enough to verbalize it in the way that it probably should have been verbalized, but also at the same time, like, it was one of those experiences. So that time she did put a stop to it. But later on, I guess she was manipulated by this guy, and she thought that maybe they had feelings for each other, and she trusted him. And you know how these stories go with girls being essentially and boys actually being manipulated by older people online into thinking that, you know, this person loves them and this person cares about them, and if you cared about them too, you would, you know, do these things for them or what have you. And especially if you're in such a vulnerable position where you've had this happen to you in a very loose sense of the term, this happened to you, because it was very different the two times that it did occur. But when you're in such a vulnerable position and you're kind of disconnected from people, anyone who does kind of show you that affection, but in a way that's acceptable to you, it kind of, you're open to it, as opposed to whether or not not whether or not, but other people who might want to connect with you on some level. And I'm seeing in the chat a lot of people are talking about groomed. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. She was groomed, manipulated into thinking that this was essentially something that she should do. And later on in her life, as she was kind of pursuing, you know, going on to college and looking at universities, I guess it kind of dawned on her that, oh, I'm moving on with my life. This was a part of my past that I am affected by, and it's shameful, and I feel so horrible about it, and it's out there, and I can never take it back. And like, essentially, how you would feel if you sent nudes to somebody, but you know, you were a kid at the time, so you kind of feel a little bit powerless and feel a little bit manipulated.
How old is she now?
She's 18.
Okay. Not that it matters. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So did she say whether or not she ever like pursued criminal charges against either of these guys, or has she told her family about it? Or is
Yes,
this all
she has
kept
told her
herself?
family about it, and she is actually currently in the process of pursuing criminal stuff, which is part of the reason why she has to remain anonymous.
Sure.
I would figure, though, that pursuing criminal stuff and that, wouldn't you get in trouble for distributing child porn yourself?
She was 14 at the time.
Yeah, she was a minor, so she probably...
Well,
no, that's not how it works, because they, you know, they have like the GBI people and the FBI people come in and say, like, when we were like 15, don't send nudes, because if you do it, you're distributing child pornography. And
depends on the state, I suppose, but yeah, maybe.
It depends on the case by case basis. I know that there have been cases where people have been convicted of, you know, having their own nudes and sending their own nudes to people. But that's very, very rare occasions, and that's under strenuous circumstances, but really fucked up circumstances, as far as I'm aware. In this instance, I'm pretty sure that's not the case.
yeah, I was just wondering, because I know that those were like the warnings that we got in like high school. They're like, don't take nudes. We have to convict you if you do it. And we're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, see, we didn't get that message. We just got the, if you possess nudes, you're getting convicted or something.
Yeah, it was like if you possess them or you send them, like even if they're your own, then you'll get convicted for having and distributing child pornography, is what we were told.
Because I know it can happen to a kid, which...
I've seen cases of it. It's something that the law is trying to figure out how to deal with, because on the one hand, yeah, it's technically distributing child porn, but at the same time, you're also dealing with a child. So yeah, the law has to catch up there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also like, say you have two 16-year-olds like sending them to each other, like, yeah, I know, gross, yeah. But I mean, like, do you have the right to take pictures of your... And it's also kind of weird, because there's like a different age of consent in different states. So I've also heard them saying, like, you know, if the age of consent is 16, then should you be able to take pictures of yourself at 16, like all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm glad I don't have to make any of those decisions. Good luck, guys. Have fun talking about 16-year-old nudes.
And isn't it like the baseline for all child pornography like 18 and under is?
Yes, right now, yeah.
That's what I thought. Across states, right? It's not.
I think it's federally. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I don't think states can. Yeah, they can't say, oh well, it's in this state it's 16. I think it's been ruled federally. So.
Yeah, well, that's like I said, that's like where all the issues come into play because I don't know, like, should you be able to do it? Like,
I was curious because I did hear the part where you said you'd take questions at the end of the show from the chat. Were the questions good or were they respectful? Real quick, point curation. Thank you. Difficult conversations are often worth having. So I'm told all the time by people who want to have difficult conversations about race. Yeah, I mean, I was curious of the I guess the inquisitiveness of your audience while you were doing this.
So yes, they were respectful, but they weren't on topic, if that makes any sense. I mean, we got a lot of tongue buttering the turtle caves questions.
Seriously?
I'm not even kidding.
Oh no, guys.
And they asked her about her aspirations as an astronaut, as an Irish astronaut, because she had mentioned that she wanted to be an astronaut as a kid. Certain other things. I got a question about determinism. It was interesting. It didn't really have anything to do with the actual topic, but they were good questions to have. And I mean, it kind of lightened the mood a little bit after the actual stream that we had because it was a heavy topic. And we did take breaks to kind of joke about stuff in the middle.
Thank you, James Colley. Tracy Lords is the stunning example of all that. Yeah, she started doing stuff when she was underage, but nobody knew she lied about her age or whatever.
Yeah.
I forget. I know there's a famous example of what she did the first time around. It was either porn or some movie where she was nude or something. I forget what it was, but yeah. I don't mean, I'm trying to think of anything else to ask or say, but I think
I will say this: we did get bombarded with a troll midway through, and it's not the I am cancer guy. It was just some rando who kept spamming, all manner of shenanigans and using multiple accounts to do it too. So it was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, in most cases, unless you're broadcasting your chat at the same time, it goes by the wayside and never gets recorded. So, ta-da!
We had mods in the chat, so that was good.
Okay. Alrighty. Any other YouTube drama or stuff?
I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
When you got the tongue buttering the turtle cave question, did you roll your eyes?
I did a little bit.
Okay. Did you shed tears of rage?
Yes, I did. It was a pussy bitching move, I know, but it had to be done. Actually, she didn't know what that was, so I had to explain it to her on.
What does that mean?
Oh, honey, sit down. Let me educate you.
Yeah, it's important that you understand this because it's vital knowledge for
later.
I love, and I'm sorry that happened during such a serious stream, and kind of I'm not, but I love how far and wide that has gone.
It's
amazing.
amazing.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, to hear Sargon say it, I think was probably the thus far the zenith of holy shit, it went that far kind of thing. I know other people have sent us like links to other streams and stuff of like comedians and such, but as far as like celebrities within our sphere, I'm still waiting for the day that Dave Rubin says it. When Dave Rubin says it, I think we'll have achieved maximum memeage at that point.
Have we gotten Philip DeFranco to say it on stream? Because I know he does those.
Not that I've been told, no.
Oh, if we could get a Phil DeFranco tongue buttering turtle caves.
It'd be even better if we could get the honest trailer guy to say it.
Oh, that would be great.
Like tongue butter my turtle cave. Yeah. Any other? Do we have any YouTube drama elsewise going on?
I saw very little of the internet today. I spent most of my day on the couch in pain. So,
Sorry. I did see some interactions between V and Coach Red Pill that I actually commented on about how they were being childish with each other. Like, I've never seen two adults act like 5-year-olds more in my entire life.
Well, V always acts like that. Coach Red Pill tries to present himself as an adult.
Like, isn't he supposed to be a model for 19-year-old conservative men or something? Doesn't he say that in a video of somewhere?
I know he wants to be a model for men. Take that how you will.
Oh boy. Thank you, Point Curation. 2020 Democratic nominee speech. The emerging phenomenon of tongue buttering turtle caves. Yeah, I mean, if Hillary Clinton, the Hillary Clinton-esque figure in the next election, moves on from Pepe to tongue buttering turtle caves, yeah, I think we'll have transcended time and space itself. That'd be something else.
I'm just so happy to be a minor part of all of that.
Vortex says, Scribe Light, did you see the new requirements for monetizing?
I saw that.
I have no idea what's that about.
So
I saw Satsu has a video, but I haven't seen it yet. So yeah, if anybody knows.
From what I'm aware of, I think you have to have like 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 channel views.
So they lessened it because it was 10,000 channel views.
Right, that's what I thought.
So like, they made it easier. Good for them.
Well, maybe because if they did add the 1,000, that was only for.
That was there. No, it was. Oh, right. But it was 10,000 channel views.
Yeah, it was 10,000 channel views, but there was no requirement on
subscribers.
On 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
No, it wasn't.
That was you're right. That was just for super chat.
Well, that makes no sense for them to work on that change when the problem that we just had was Logan Paul, who has millions of fucking followers.
Yeah.
The fuck? What is wrong with you?
How about not put him on the trending page when he posts a video with a person that committed suicide? That might be
in
helpful.
The thumbnail, maybe. I don't know. Like, I love dead bodies as much as the next guy, but
at least as much. At least as much as a submarine driving inventor. I did see something. I don't know if it's a joke or something, but all things considered, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. Mr. Medicare Jim posted something about Darkside Phil and some like revelations of his personal life. And for those of you who don't know who Darkside Phil is, he is a epic story in and of himself. I have been off and on keeping track of him for years now. He's a favorite subject of conversation. Sorry, what? Hello?
That sounds like you've been stalking.
No, not like that. But I mean, I used to watch. He did a gaming videos and like let's plays.
Oh, okay.
And way back when, I found them kind of entertaining briefly, and then I started seeing videos people put out of, here's the shit that Darkside Phil did today, or here's how he's scamming money out of his viewers, and I was like, oh. And so these little like exposés would come out, and some people are very obsessed with like tracking his every movement, and Jim has done some really funny stuff on him. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if Darkside Phil actually had something happen to him, but if Jim was correct in what he was saying, I'm not going to repeat it because I don't know. It's just an allegation, but if it's true,
well, then what's the allegation?
Well, go look it up. I don't
know. Just tell me.
Where did he talk about it?
Right.
The allegation has something to do with so Phil has a house that he bought with YouTube money somewhere, I forget where. His girlfriend recently left him, I think, within the last like. And so something about the allegation was that he employed a prostitute who then came out afterwards and reported that he liked to be pegged with a horse dildo. Which I am pretty sure.
You were gonna just leave that.
Well, again,
asshole.
I
do have something exciting that happened with YouTube stuff.
Well, before we get to that, real quick, was this on Twitter or was this a YouTube video?
This was Twitter, something that Jim tweeted out. And again, it may have been a complete joke that Jim put out, but I just thought it was funny. Magnificent Bastard says Sons of Kojima is the best to watch for DSP. Yeah, Sons of Kojima, the channel, they've made a career out of just like. Anyway, I don't know if it's true. That's just a joke he said. If it's true, yeah. Well, you see, DSP is also the guy, and this is not an allegation. He left his webcam on ahead of a live stream or a Twitch stream or something where he was jerking off. You can't see him jerking off. You can only see everything from like the shoulders up of him like doing it, and it's hilarious. So Darkside Phil doing something that is completely self-destructive and also scandalous wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if that specific thing happened, but I'm glad to find out one way or the other. Anyway, that aside.
So SDA, you said you had something?
Yeah, I hit 1 million channel views.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Now you qualify for monetization. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I think we're all good on that front.
That's cool.
I've been excited about that for like a week, and I keep forgetting.
I wonder, does that, I mean, is there any kind of like benchmark that hits for something, or is that just a nice?
I don't know, like 1 million's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Cookie, SDA. Get yourself a cookie.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I don't have one, but I'll get one at some point.
Good. Do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, we're close enough to the bottom of the hour. We kind of went over deep topics with Weebo. So, guys, it is chat time. So, chat, if you have questions, comments, answers, complaints, conspiracy theories, answers to life in the universe, by all means, post them, and we will read them. And if you do have a question for us, put plenty of question marks afterwards so we can distinguish it from everything else. Any programming notes coming up? Any book clubs or streamings or anything?
Not
currently.
Let's see. Thursday I'll be off. Sunday, if things hold up, Monkey and I will be reviewing Lethal Weapon over on his channel. Thank you, Inedible Trout. 249 days smoke-free. Also, a blind man walks into a bar and a table and a chair. Har. Har, har. Well, congratulations on keeping your lungs clean.
Nice.
I know Monkey knows the pain of trying to kick that habit, or at least attempt it a little bit.
It's not a quitter. It's not in me.
No.
That's the
Have you been doing the smokies, or are you still trying not to?
Both.
Okay. So do you still smell like chain smoke when you stream?
Yeah. Here's
really?
the thing.
I never hear you.
When I try quitting, I smoke more, and I've noticed this about myself. So I try to kind of trick myself into like, oh, I'm not actually quitting. I'm just slowing down a little bit. Yeah, the more I try, the more I smoke. So I'm going to need therapy, I think.
Thank you, England DG. Thank you for the comment or the question. Conspiracy theory. NBC News had an exclusive tour of the Hawaii Emergency Notice Center 24 hours before the false alert went out. Is that true? If that's true, that is interesting. Karazarian says, how do I convince my mom that when she says she is closing her eyes, that she will go to sleep? That when she says she's closing her eyes, that she will go. How do I convince her?
That's an old people thing we do. We know we're going to sleep. We say, I'm just closing my eyes for a second. We know. She knows.
Malevolent Rider says, SDA, did you hear Pikachu is a detective with a double barrel shotgun? Your thoughts?
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that. Okay.
England DG says, repeat after me. Blow means no.
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
I get it. It's because the dumb bitch is a dumb bitch.
I would never be that dumb of a bitch.
The original Shroom says, Scribe, like watching Spider-Man Homecoming, did you notice the Beetlejuice flashback by Keaton in the car scene talking to Peter? Are you talking about like his tone of voice? Or is there some like Easter egg? I don't know. Although that was the best scene of the whole movie, that car ride between
that was
Peter.
awesome. Even I, who didn't enjoy the movie, enjoyed that part.
Yeah, even though all things considered, Peter Parker could just reached over the seat and like beat the shit out of him without anything because he's got the proportional strength of a spider. That was the one thing I was kind of like, Society reject hard to the core. Long name. Scribelight, were you on the Owen Benjamin stream this morning under another name? If not, someone is using your avatar. Well, my avatar is public domain, or at least the one it's based on. So I was not on the Owen Benjamin stream, so no.
Yeah, I've seen people with your original avatar, and I'm like, hey, Scribe. Oh no, that's not him.
Yeah, no, I've got a modified one now, thanks to Knight of Charlemagne. So it looks very similar to the original painting, but the painting itself has been public domain for decades and decades. So it's nothing unique. That's specifically why I started using it. Not only do I actually like the painting, but it's also nothing I have to worry about, some kind of copyright deal.
I got a reply to Crazy Man 1984. He says, next diss track, go get the phrase tongue butter turtle caves. It would be awesome. I used turtle caves in the last diss track.
Mm-hmm.
I made a point of doing that.
TOS says, Scribe Light, tone of voice and facial expression. Well, that could just be Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton just has some things he does as a natural thing. I mean, I've seen elements of what you might call Beetlejuice in dozens of his other performances, just because the way he kind of grits his teeth and kind of leers a little bit. So, although they are still talking about doing a Beetlejuice sequel. They've been talking about that for years. It's in development hell so far as I know, but it might happen. Death Harukin says, Ranting Monkey, did you see the story about the man who stole $300 of Pokemon cards from Walmart?
Monster.
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
Let's see. Backscan 3030 says, Monkey, start by writing down the time every time you smoke. It makes you aware of how much you smoke and makes it a pain in the ass. It helps when you want to cut back. I quit after 20 years. If Monkey remembered to do that, maybe it worked.
Yeah. I have Post-it notes in front of me because Scribe tells me to write stuff down and I forget to write it down.
Yeah.
Prospero asks, what is the painting? Scribe, he's talking about...
It's called Wanderer Above the Sea Fog by Caspar David Friedrich. It's either 1718 or 1817. I forget one of the two. It's been used on many book covers. It's most commonly associated with reprints of Frankenstein. And yeah, so that's that. Let's see. Somebody asked something that had already jumped on me. The chat jumped. Okay. Daniel Pink says, Scribe Light. Now I have been made aware. Will you occasionally change your name to Lords of the Lunchtime for your Australian viewers? Heck. Lords of the Lunchtime. You can believe that's what we are. Australian viewers, when you're listening to us, we're not Lords of the Night, we're Lords of the Lunchtime. There you go. That's our Australian name. It's sort of like if you take our show name and translate it into Australian. That's what it comes out.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's see. Death Harukin says, Skyblight, have you played Force Unleashed Star Wars games, and would you play them at some point? I have played both Force Unleashed games, 1 and 2. The first one was really innovative at the time and really fun to play. The second one was garbage, and I hated it because it was just so boring. The writing on the first one was really good, and all the interesting stuff you could do. It was ridiculous in a canon sense, given that guy's powers, but I enjoyed it.
I really didn't like the game. I got bored with it quickly and moved on to something else.
It was kind of fun throwing stormtroopers around and that kind of stuff, like the destruction stuff.
Yeah.
I won't deny it got a little repetitive at times, but the story and the set pieces is what really kept it going for me. But it's really only good for about one playthrough. That's the one thing. There's not a whole lot of replay value to it, because once you've done it, you've done it. That's one of those things.
Kara asked a question that I'm very passionate about. She said, which is worse, ice or snow? Snow is ice, goddammit.
I
what
prefer
about slush?
Well, as a pedestrian, I prefer stepping on snow than I do ice. Let me put it that way.
You're still stepping on ice.
No, but like ice, okay, but you know what they mean. Like ice is, and you're gonna slip and like break your fucking ass. Or like fluffy stuff. So fluffy ice versus ouchy ice. We'll put it that way. Is that better?
What about
It's
wetty
still
ice?
the same thing.
Okay,
well,
so
yes.
we might get the fluffy ice though.
Yeah. Fluffy ice gives you traction. Regular like ice doesn't really, and for a pedestrian, that's what sucks.
Well, and for somebody who is prone to falling on her butt, you know, I prefer the fluffy ice.
I feel you, SDA. I feel you.
Because I like, you know, we get ice occasionally, and every time I manage to like almost break my tailbone. We may get snow tonight, and I'm so fucking excited.
Georgia snow.
Oh yeah. I mean, not a lot, but I don't care. Fucking snow day, bitches. I'm so excited.
Weebo was just talking about feeling SDA.
I feel you, SDA. Well, they might be in the same room for all we know.
Except it didn't happen.
Inedible Trout says Dark Forces 2 is the best Star Wars game ever. Don't at me. Sorry, KOTOR. Knights of the Old Republic, the first RPG, is the best Star Wars game. Dark Forces 2 is a very, very, it's a good second to KOTOR as far as like just overall quality, but sorry, KOTOR beats it, I think. Mick Europe says, did you already talk about the new California proposal? Yes, we covered that in MSS News a bit. Gregory Hurst, thank you. I prefer immigration law enforcement, ICE. Har, 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 har.
Oh, boy.
Har.
Oh. Sarah says that she saw snow for the first time today.
Aw.
You've never seen snow before, or just not locally?
Probably not live.
You do realize that there are people that don't live up north, right?
Well, I mean, when you say never seen snow before, like like in a movie or anything, that's what I mean.
No, that's not what they mean, Scribe.
Well, you don't have to have snow and live up north. You can have snow and live in Georgia.
Yeah, but like people who live in Florida, for example, and maybe don't have all the means to travel and stuff like that, have never seen like snow.
Okay, no, I'm not saying it's impossible.
Congratulations to Priestess of Keck.
Oh,
grandson was born this morning.
Oh,
Congratulations.
yay!
Oh wow, I didn't know you were that old.
Yay, baby!
Grandkids are awesome.
Let's see. Grisella says, Scribe Light, what do we call black ice now? Hate to call it that and be seen as racist. Har har.
See-through ice.
Yeah, black ice is dangerous shit.
That's racist, Scribe.
I know.
I have a grand monkey story for you.
Go, by all means.
We were sitting there eating lunch today, and she puts a big mouthful of food in and starts talking. And I say to her, don't talk with food in your mouth. And about 5 minutes later, I put a chip in my mouth and went to say something to her. And she looks at me and goes, don't talk with your mouth full.
Yeah.
I was like, you're right.
Yeah, you got me.
You got me.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Character Holding says second KOTOR wasn't done. Yes, it was released. It was rushed to release and wasn't completed. However, there is a mod out there called the Sith Lords Restoration Project, or the Restoration Mod now, or whatever. You can get that. It fills in a lot of the gaps. It's a much better game as a result. It's still a little clunky on the back end, but it's much better than the original release. Inedible Trout says KOTOR is great. DF2 is better because Kyle Katarn is God. Yeah, I mean, like I say, Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight was a really good game. It was a hell of a lot better, I think, than Outcast.
Outcast was great. It's my favorite of that series.
Outcast was really good. I just enjoyed KOTOR 2 more because it had, I don't know, it had a bit more mystery to it, sort of. And I really did like, as cheesy as they were, I really did like the live action cutscenes of like actual seeing actors and stuff. That was, at the time, I mean, you got to remember, this we're talking like in the contemporary release of the game, it was amazing to see like Star Wars on film again. It was great.
PG says, remember SDA had roaming millennials sit on her lap. SDA is trying to cuddle with all the female YouTubers on our side.
Ooh, is that true? SDA, do you have a hit list?
Can I make a request?
No, I mean, like...
Could you have Bit of Brit sit on your lap and cuddle?
No, I really don't want to cuddle with her. I'm good.
Oh shit, guys, it's 4,000 watch hours in the previous 12 months for the monetization.
Wow.
4,000
How do you even like look at?
Sorry, I thought it was
watch hours.
Watched hours. I don't
I have
even.
no fucking clue.
Where do I look for? Where do I look for that on my?
It's in
Yeah.
analytics.
Is it?
Yeah.
Watch time in minutes.
We're not in like. If we're already monetized, like we're Gucci, right?
We're grandfathered in.
Yeah, we should be. Yeah, exactly.
God.
Well,
That's just
every
weird.
other time they've done this, you're grandfathered in.
Trying to figure out where to go.
I would think it would be in channels, right?
Analytics. Watch time in minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
That's
goes
what
for the last.
Watch time in minutes. Okay,
Last
let's
2
go.
months or something.
Last 365 days.
Yeah, 400. I have 428,000 watch time in minutes since December 19th. I think that probably is
Well, it's supposed to be what, the last 30, or what was it? Last how long?
last 12 months. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, last 12 months.
If
We have to
it
have
mattered to
4,000
me, I'd be
watch
fine.
hours or watch hours or minutes.
Hours,
4,000 hours.
I guess. Was that the metric, Weebo, or
4,000 hours watch time.
So,
because in the last 365 days, I have 5 million minutes. Never mind. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, holy shit, I only have 5,000 minutes. That's ridiculous. And I was like, that math doesn't make any sense. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm good.
I'm not worried. We're grandfathered in, presumably.
I still like.
Thank you, Peter Hades 313. Sorry, just a donation. Thank you, Peter. You had something you want to say?
That does actually encourage newer channels, though, to make really long videos.
Well, you still need they have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, it's just about getting people to watch, which is weird. I have 42 years worth in the last year.
Oh.
So I think I'm safe.
How do you change it to lifetime? There we go.
No, well, yeah, change it to lifetime, and then where it says watch time and your total there, just hover over it, and it'll actually tell you it tell you years and days.
Okay.
Oh, will it really?
Yep.
I didn't even do that.
Let's see. Daniel Pink asks, Ranting Monkey, was Grand Monkey acting as your nursemaid today while you were laid up?
She always does, yeah. She makes sure I have blankets, and she gives me pillows, and she'll bring me baby dolls.
Let's see. In the last year, I have had 7 years and 356 days worth of watch time. I think I'm okay.
Sweet. Yeah, that sounds like a lot when you just look at it, but it's really not that much time if you have any kind of audience at all.
Yeah.
And by any kind of audience, if you have 100 viewers who watch regularly, you'll hit that pretty quick.
I have 1 year and 226 days in the last 12 months.
Sylvanus asked, Scribe, how messed up was your work comp? Not really. There was a couple things that have made temporarily inconvenient as a result of whatever went wrong, but I've found workarounds. So nothing catastrophic happened. It was just annoying, and I will have to wait on IT people to fix what did go wrong and make my life a little easier. But thankfully, I didn't lose my work, which was my big concern.
Just to jump in on the dick measuring, 12 years and 136 days. Sorry.
Damn.
Let's see.
Yeah, I again woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and was on a stream with Mundane Matt threw me a link and went on with him, and Wizard of Oz were on there. And Matt's talking about how he gets, like 30,000 hours every month, or it's 30,000 views a day. I'm like, I'm way above my head here, because I don't even come close to that.
I need to start waking up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Join the club.
I wake up that early, but I have to get to work. So
next time I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. I'll come on and say, Monkey.
I'm gonna be like, Monkey, get me into Mundane Matt, please.
Wait, isn't Matt on the West Coast? What's he doing up that early?
Well, I guess
he's got a baby.
Up late.
Oh, he's got. Oh, I didn't know he had a kid. Oh, this is me.
Yeah, his daughter's 3 months old, and he brings her onto the stream a lot because she's awake at that hour. He couldn't get to sleep last night because she wouldn't go to sleep.
Gotcha. Harvos Marvos says, did you guys catch Trump's doctor report, particularly the way the reporters kept repeating themselves, trying to find anything? And do you know anything about Twit suing Twitter? TWIT?
What?
I don't know what Twit is. I saw the doctor made a report. I didn't see any reporters grilling him, but I could see why they would, trying to find out something secret. I don't know what TWIT is.
Ooh, interesting question about philosophy from him, Cannon. What are your thoughts on determinism and its implications on society? So determinism, if I'm not mistaken, is a philosophy that everything that, your life will take the course of is predetermined for you by events that have already taken place. And I think that because it's philosophical, it's more meant to make your head hurt than anything else. It's not something that you should probably live your life by. And it's more of like a thought exercise than anything that I would actually give any credence to.
But here's the thing. You can't argue with the idea of fate. You can try, but you're always going to be wrong because you were fated to say that. You were fated to argue against it.
Well, that's just because it's bullshit mumbo jumbo.
Exactly.
To make somebody sound smart. which is why philosophy a lot of the time just irritates the fuck out of me. I'm like, you just said stupid shit that you came up with when you were high, and now you think you're intelligent. And like, shut the fuck up, I'm tired, is how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's basically thinking for the sake of thinking, just to fuck with your own thinking.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that, Weebo, because I was worried you were going to be like, oh, well, it's really significant because blah, 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 and you're just like,
no, it's not. It's not. Fuck that shit. I have friends that try and like philosophize around me, and I'm like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, like, first of all.
Oh, Shield-Grant. Oh, God.
What?
I was tickling my son's feet when my wife woke up and started yelling at me. Something about waiting until he's born.
Gross.
Sorry, I didn't. That's funny.
Absolutely disgusting.
That's awesome.
Real
God,
quick,
I hope you feel bad about that.
Real quick, thank you, Inedible Trout. What do the movies Titanic and The Sixth Sense have in common? I see dead people. Also, New Fate 26 got back to me on Twitter with a replacement ad idea. An absurdist version of Beowulf, if possible, include an eldritch horror connection. So Beowulf meets H.P. Lovecraft. I think I can probably swing that. Thank you, New Fate.
But like, real quick, back to the philosophical stuff. I mean, I just think that if you're gonna waste brain power, waste it on things that are actually tangible and that actually matter, like the etymological evolution of words and stuff like that. You know, things we can actually prove and things that have an impact, rather than just thought exercises for no fucking reason, other than for you to be like, I'm an intellectual and totally not a hipster.
Yeah, thinking about thinking gets you absolutely nowhere.
I wouldn't say that. I think that there's reasons we think like we do, and that's fun to examine.
You know, if I want to really freak myself out, it's really easy to do, obviously. I try to think about death.
Interrupt yourself?
Yeah, can we not go there, please? I don't like doing that.
Well, hold on. No, I'm not talking about like
please.
People.
I really don't want to.
Okay. Moving on. Let's see. England DG says, I self-identify as a hipster even though my balls have dropped. Well, sounds like a personal problem. K. Rosering says, would it be cannibalism if I am nicknamed Cinnamon Roll and eat a cinnamon roll?
Yes.
Only if you're actually a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, you're not an actual cinnamon roll, so.
I mean, and if you are,
how
does it feel?
Jesus Scribe, does she have to give you 2 blowjobs before you get the hint?
Okay. Let's see. Grisella says, when my mind wanders, I come up with weird things, monkey cartoons, for example. Well, a monkey does that all the time because he uses one. Let's see. Peter says, did you guys see Don Dickhead Lemon's interview with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s nephew? Poor Donnie got upset because he said Trump isn't racist. I saw that. I saw that quote on CNN. I didn't see any much else about the story, though.
I didn't see that. Can you link me on Twitter, Peter?
Yeah, I remember seeing that briefly on CNN's front page, but then it disappeared.
It's always funny to me when you see liberals get confronted about Martin Luther King. For instance, he was a reverend, and I remember back in the 90s, people being upset because his daughter, I think it was his daughter, came out and said, you know, he wouldn't be in favor of gay marriage. That's just true, especially if it came up at the time, because the man was a God-fearing man. That's not a slight against anything else he did. It's just true.
Yeah.
And you can take, the parts that you like about him and disagree with him on other things. It's funny to me anytime it comes up.
Inedible Trout says, Scribe light side or dark side playthrough on KOTOR. I liked playing dark side, except for the fact that the way it was written, you're basically just an asshole. It's not like creepy, insidious evil. There's a little bit more of that in KOTOR too, but generally I would play dark side just because I'm a morbid motherfucker, but it wasn't as enjoyable as it could have been if the writing and the game mechanics were a bit different.
Light side all the way.
Yeah, and when I do one of those runs, it's always one or the other. I know people have tried to do gray and like stay right in the middle as they go, and some people have achieved that just based on the numbers. I don't see the benefit to it because it's like, why? So yeah, it's either all light or all dark.
Well, yeah, trying to play both sides, you end up limiting yourself too much.
Harvos Marvos, Scribe Light, age-old question. Who wins in a fight, caveman or astronaut, and is it cheating if ninjas side with either one? Well, both of those things only matter depending on the playing field. If it's in space, the caveman dies. If it's on the ground, the astronaut dies because the caveman's much hardier. So there you go. As far as the ninjas part, it would be cheating, yes. Crazy Man 1984. What is your favorite strange food? Example: Rocky Mountain oysters. I don't know what those are. I guess the strangest food that most people, it's definitely an acquired taste. I like smoked oysters. I gained a taste for that when I was very young, because my dad brought that with him when he, or that type of food with him when he moved from Milwaukee. I guess it was some kind of Wisconsin-esque delicacy back there, and I've just enjoyed them ever since.
Deep fried alligator. It's delicious.
Oh, I've had alligator and crocodile. It tastes pretty good. It's like chicken. Kind of. Any weird
Just
food,
eat
Monkey?
chicken. No, I don't do weird food.
Ooh,
Okay.
ooh, pheasant
weirdest-
tastes like hot dogs.
Eat hot dogs.
SDA, any weird food?
Does SDA like any weird food?
You know
Yeah,
better.
you know, like meatloaf.
Okay, like the whole joke was that I said I wouldn't put it in my mouth.
Yes.
So you're
Yeah.
kind of missing the point of my statement.
Okay.
She doesn't
Thought I
do
knew.
the strange, weird stuff in her mouth. She
I
would
don't.
not date Aziz.
No, I don't put Indian food in my mouth either.
There you go.
Make your
That's right.
plug and said, is there a Jedi more annoying than Rey? Rey isn't a Jedi. I don't care what the movies say.
She doesn't count.
He has had
That doesn't count.
zero training. The 5 minutes with Luke on that island, no. She's not a Jedi, and that whole thing that Yoda says is bullshit. It's
You
Ryan
kind of have to
Johnson.
be part of the Jedi Order. I mean, you could
Yeah.
argue that she's a light side Force user with a lightsaber.
Yes,
Yeah, that works.
She's a light side adept. That is how I would classify her. She's not a Jedi. A Jedi is a very specific order of philosophy and belief and action, and she's not it. So it's, yeah, if they want to get rid of the Jedi, they pretty much did, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, even Luke kind of wasn't a Jedi.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the relation to how they spelled out Jedi training in the prequels and later on in the expanded universe, neither Luke and certainly not Rey are full Jedi. Luke has a bit of a larger claim to it because he at least was given training of a kind, and the amount of time he spent training with Yoda is kind of vague in Empire, because the amount of time it took Han and them to get from point A to point B isn't really defined. It could be a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of months, but yeah, Luke is as close to an actual Jedi as you could get after the Purge, and certainly more so than Rey.
Yeah, I mean, because being a Jedi means that you have to live, through like the Jedi Order and by the Jedi Code and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot to it. Like, yeah, Luke has maybe a better claim to it, and I guess somebody's got to restart the Order.
Yeah.
I have a serious question with regards
And Rey
to
needed to
that.
build her own fucking lightsaber, so I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Do you think
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
There we
try-
go. We
try
can
that
hear you
again.
now.
Try that
Alright,
again.
sorry, I don't know what's up. Do you think, were the Jedi allowed to jerk off?
I think they were made to.
They got away with it. even
I
if they
mean, you
weren't
would
allowed
have to. Like,
Yeah, and they use the
you're
Force
not allowed
to
to
do
do
it.
fuck, so.
Yeah, they use the Force to do it, so it can be like the Phantom Hand. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you think that would make
Uh,
it better if you did like the Phantom Hand? Because would it feel like somebody else is doing it, or would you like be able to feel that your force is tugging on your schlong?
And doesn't matter which hand you use. Like, can you be ambidextrous in that sense?
Ooh, can you like use the force with both hands, or are you like right hand dominant even when you're force using?
Well, while we're contemplating that, thank you, Mule 1066. PSA for the evils of tongue buttering the turtle cave, but done in Dr. Seuss style. Oh, the evils of it. So like a Christian counterpoint or something. Okay, I will. God, Jesus,
You get to make up words.
I do, yeah, like Dr. Seuss words. I will make the attempt. You will. 6-minute warning, guys. Yeah, Luke could at least say that between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, he communed in some way with the Force and researched stuff and was able to find some artifacts and type things.
Gregory Hurst. Where do you think the Force choke came from?
Yeah, there's that too.
Nice.
Okay, I have an extra question.
Mm-hmm.
If like we really want to get down to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Could you like use the Force to like jerk off somebody else?
Yes.
No,
could,
because
yeah.
then you'd be
Certainly.
using force, and that means that they didn't consent.
Force rape.
Wah, wah. Yeah.
For the record, I know Luke was a Jedi, and I know this because I had the Luke Skywalker Jedi action figure.
Oh, so special.
Yeah. Now like I say, it's an unfortunate thing that he was the last Jedi, because Rey is no Jedi. Luke is at least the last inheritor of knowledge of actual Jedi from both Obi-Wan and Yoda, and had training and was at least given some direction. And in the expanded universe, he did commune with Obi-Wan a little bit more after Empire's Return of the Jedi. So, but yeah, the Rey is not a Jedi. Is not, will not be. The Jedi are dead, and if she claims otherwise, yeah, until she makes her own lightsaber, fuck her, which she probably will in this by the
I
next
hope
movie.
so, because I'm also really tired of people being like, "That's Luke's lightsaber." I'm like, no, it's Anakin's lightsaber. He's the one who fucking built it.
Yeah. Although I'm curious as to how she'll learn how to build a lightsaber, because at least in the canon, Luke found books and things back at Obi-Wan's little hovel on Tatooine that helped him build his own lightsaber, whereas Rey doesn't, because Yoda lightning destroyed all that. So,
well, I don't know. Maybe like after her and Kylo Ren do fuck, which they will.
Oh God.
She'll what? There was like that was sexual tension, like nobody's fucking business. Anyway,
Barf.
he probably knows. Well, look, it's not my fault. I didn't do it anyway. I don't know. Maybe he knows how to do it, and he can show her his lightsaber while he's at it.
England DG, Rey doesn't have the books. They burned the books.
No,
I thought they rescued the books.
They did. Oh yeah, spoilers by the way.
Did she? When?
I have no idea.
Luke rescued the books.
I thought he went in there to burn them all, and that's when Yoda did it anyway.
No, you know what? Somebody rescued them. Might have been Rey. I don't remember.
I must have missed that part. I must have just missed it amongst the rest of the ridiculousness of that movie.
Oh yeah, Rey stole the books. Wait,
books.
Weebo, you've seen it, right?
Okay.
No, I haven't, but I already know
You
what
haven't? Okay.
happened.
Oh,
I spoiled it.
Well, when you watch it, tell me, because people are like, it's not going to happen. But I'm like, they set up a romantic subplot.
Of course they
totally
did. Of course they
They
fucking
super duper did, and it made way more sense than the Rose Finn romantic subplot.
All right. Thank you, Chaos Eve. I want an ad for lightsabers for feminists. Yes, I went there.
Are they shaped like vaginas too?
No, but they'll be pink and they'll be fueled by period blood and yeast.
They just smell like vaginas.
I thought that was what the Kyber crystals were for, Scribe.
Well, they are, but these are lightsabers for feminists, not Jedi and Sith.
So then they won't work.
You're giving away the ending, Weebo. Jeez.
Shit, my bad.
3-minute warning, guys. Net Ryomi says Rey stole them off screen. Okay. What I had hoped would happen is that Rey would have accepted Kylo's offer, and that would be like, oh, finally, we're going to see people actually try to take over the universe with the Force. No, of course not.
I was really hoping for that too. I was like, they're going to do it, and they're going to do fuck. And then I was like, okay, never mind.
Well, I was kind of hoping that it would be the two of them. Sorry, guys, spoilers. This has been out long enough. That she would accept his offer. They would start effectively a new, well-intentioned empire, and then Poe and Finn would have to pull her back from that path in the third movie in some way. That would have been, I would have been, even though everything else about The Last Jedi pissed me off, at least that turn of events would at least like, okay, at least that's something new. And we're not going to like revert back to where do we go from here? Well, there's going to be a big battle and there's going to be a lightsaber fight and Kylo's going to get killed. The end.
Yeah, it's pretty cookie cutter at this point.
Yeah, I mean, unless J.J. Abrams decides to go completely off script, which I would be amazed if he did. But yeah.
Well, I mean, this kind of went completely off script.
Right. Yeah, Ryan Johnson.
I enjoyed it though. Like I had fun. I don't know. It was actually one of the most. Okay, I know that people don't like it because of the narrative issues, and I'll give you that. But for like, I had no moments where I was like, I can pee now. In that movie.
Well,
whereas in most Star Wars movies, as much as I love them, there's always a moment where I'm like, all right, bathroom time.
No, the only reason I didn't go to the bathroom is because I was waiting for it to get good, and that was my problem. Anyway.
Oh, I was entertained the whole time. I was like, I'm happy about this. There's a lot of Poe Dameron on screen. He just needed to be 90% of the video of the movie, and then we would have been super good. But I'll take the 30% he was in.
All right, guys. Well, we'll have to end it on that. So, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight and joining us as you always do. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the donations. I will get working on those ads for tomorrow night when we are on Monkey's channel at the same Lords of the Night time. Weebo, thank you so much for joining us and coming on when we thought Monkey would not be able to join us, but thankfully he did.
Thank you for
Appreciate it. Guys, if you are not subscribed to Weebo already, her channel link is in the description along with her Twitter, so you can follow her there too. Monkey SDA, as always, thank you for joining me. Guys, your lives make us sad. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.